study guide. So I'm just going to go over the answers. So you need to follow along with your study guide. Obviously, this is an ed puzzle, so you're going to have to answer questions throughout. And at the end of this, one of the things I'm going to tell you is to get your parents to sign it, right? So right now, at the top of your paper, I want you to write get parent signature. That is going to count as a grade. You need to get your parents to sign that you have completed this study guide. Okay, so first question, we are talking about taking kids to a pool. Ironically, I'm doing that tonight, which sounds crazy, but I am. So it costs $3 an hour plus an admission fee. The $3 an hour is our repeating, so that becomes our slope. The admission fee is our one time, so that's our y-intercept, slope y-intercept. I went ahead and graphed this. I filled out the increments, and then I also filled out the increments. I plotted my y-intercept at 9. That's my one-time fee. And then notice that the 3 is only going up one line because it is $3. And then I actually go over 2 lines because that's per hour. So $3 up, $1 1 hour over. $3 up, 1 hour over. Right? So it's not 3 lines. It's a $3. So you're going to have to pay really close attention to those increments, right? Because this isn't 1 hour, this is a half hour right here. So you have to pay close attention to those. On the next page, we are comparing wakeboarding at 2 different locations. We have More Speech and we have Geist, right? So I created my equation at More Speech because I knew my y-intercept was 12 because the x value is 0. And then I found that they were paying $6 extra every hour. So I got this 6x plus 12. At Geist, it was $10 per hour plus an $8 one-time fee. Our repeating fee is the 10, one-time fee is 8. Which beach has the lowest hourly rate? So this is where I'm comparing the 10 and the 6. More Speech does because $6 is less than 10. Which beach had the lowest admission fee? Geist, because that's where I'm comparing the 8 and the 12. And 8 is very obviously less than $12. If Jacob wanted to go wakeboard and rent equipment for 5 hours, which beach should he go to? So this is where we take our equations that we created and we put the 5 in for x because that stands for the hours. 6 times 5 plus 12, 10 times 5 plus 8. I ended up with $42, $58. Clearly, 42 is less than 58, so you're going to want to go to More Speech if you're going to rent equipment for 5 hours. Next page, we have people selling Girl Scout cookies. We have, sorry about this got cut off, but we have Kate's equation. So this tells me that she sells 6 boxes an hour, but she already had sold 15 boxes. That's what that 15 stands for. And Kenny, we had a graph here, so I had to label the axes. So hours here, total sold here. You already had the hint that it starts at 4, so it goes up by 4s. I noticed that he started at 12, so that's going to be my y-intercept here. And then he went up by $8 each time. So I go up $8, not 8 lines, but the equivalent of the $8 over 1 box. $8 over 1 box. So now I'm going to compare these. So who sells cookies at the slowest rate? Well, Kate does, because according to her equation, she only sells 6 an hour, where Kenny sells 8 an hour. So 6 boxes an hour is slower than 8 boxes an hour. Who sold more cookies after 4 hours? So again, I put the number 4 in for the x. I know that that stands for x because my x-axis up here is hours. 6 times 4 plus 15 is 39. 8 times 4 plus 12 is 44. So since 44 boxes is more than 39, Kenny sold the most boxes after 4 hours. Next page. Katrina is also selling cookies. We know that she sold the least number of cookies per hour, but started with the most cookies sold. So her slope has to be lower than 6 because the lowest previously was Kate, and she was selling 6 an hour. So any number less than 6 works for this location. I chose 5. And then the number she started with had to be greater than the 15 because that was the most that had been sold starting. So, and I think that was Kate as well. Yeah. So since Kate Had already sold 15. We needed a number greater than 15, so I chose 20. Anything bigger than 15 works for this. Now, I know yesterday some of you tried to get all fancy and you did like decimal values. You can't sell part of a box of cookies, so don't do that for this scenario. All right, now we're doing linear, nonlinear. A is linear, it's a straight line, vertical line. B is linear, it's a straight line. C is nonlinear because it curves. If you guys miss these on the quiz, we're going to have a talk. Next page, looking at equations, what we did yesterday. A is linear because this could be slope-intercept form. What would my y-intercept be for this one? It would be 0, meaning that it goes through the origin. B is nonlinear because there's that exponent there. That's going to make it a curved line. And C is linear because this would be considered a vertical line, right? Because all of my x values are -4. So what that would look like if I was graphing that, 1, 2, 3, 4, that means, and then -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that means that all of my x values are at -4, which of course would make a vertical line, right? This was my x-axis and my y-axis. If I had a y equals a number, that would also be linear because that would be horizontal. And what that looks like, that tells me that all of my y values are 3. So that would be if I had a bunch of points here, then I'm going to have a horizontal line at y equals 3. All right, last page. Moving right along. I'm looking at tables. I'm looking for that constant rate of change for both the x and the y values. So this one does not qualify as linear because it's -4, -2, and then it adds 2 and adds 4. So this right here tells me, nope, nonlinear, because this is not a constant rate. The second one is my y's have a constant rate, but this time my x's don't. +2, +1, -1, -2. So that throws that off right there. So that also means it's nonlinear. And for this, you just have to put not a constant rate of change. I clarified y values and x values just so you guys could see what I was talking about. But if you just wrote not a constant rate of change, then you're good. And then this table C is following the rules. We have -3 over here for each change, +3 over here for each change. So that makes it linear. That's your study guide. And I should have said at the beginning, mine is not pink because the copier ran out of pink paper. So some of my 7th period even got white paper yesterday. All right, when you're done with the ed puzzle, walk up to an adult in your home and ask them to sign somewhere up here by where it says Math 8. Sign it. Parent signature. It will be for a grade. All right, thank you. See you guys tomorrow.